Hello friends, my name is Alisha and I am a software developer. Today I will talk about finding problems in your code. So the process of finding and removing bugs in your code is also called as debugging. So uh, I will demonstrate the process of debugging by using an example. So let's see. So this is a login form of an application. So uh, a logic is implemented here that if somebody tries to log in with the wrong password thrice, so that account will be logged for 10 minutes. So the reason behind this logic is that if someone is trying to log into your account by using a brute force technique, so by using a guesswork, so he is trying to someone is trying to guess your password. So when he will have to wait again and again for 10 minutes to try another password, he will give up. So that's the logic, and to prevent the brute force attacks and guesswork. So but here whenever a user tries to log in for the fourth time, we should show him a pop-up. So the logic of pop-up is implemented, but it is not showing here. So I show it to you. So this is the user name and password. So it is a correct password. So I input the email address here and then enter a wrong password and try to log in. So first time it says that, and now it is showing that username or password is incorrect. So this was our first attempt. Now I change the password and then try to log in again. Let's close this cluster and then I try again, and for the second attempt it is also showing that your password is incorrect. So then I change the password. So it is our third attempt and login. It is again saying that your password is not correct. And uh, now it's the fourth attempt, and when I attempt to try to log in with the wrong password for the fourth time, it should show us a pop-up. So here, yeah, it is showing us the message, but it is not showing the pop-up. So let's debug this, why it is not showing the pop-up and blocking the login button. To find errors and problems, we start by looking at error messages. So here no error message is shown on the screen. So we will look it for the browser based applications. We will look at the console of the browser to find any error messages. To open up the console, we can use different shortcut keys on the browser. So I am currently using the Chrome browser. So I will right click on it and click the inspect. So it will open up the developer tools for me. So let uh, I so it's good now. So these are the developer tools, and here is console. So we can find that there are many error messages there. So we clean all of the messages, and then we try to log in for one more time, and your account is locked. So now I will look at the console. Here no error. Here only a message is shown that your request was not successful. So it is showing that this is the URL of the API to which we are calling for the login. So here we can see that no proper error message is shown there. So now next what can we do? So in the next step, in any problem we are facing, we should debug the code and execute the code in debug mode, and execute in the code line by line. Okay, now we go to the sources tab. So in the console tab there are messages that are uh, written by the our code, and in our sources tab we have the code which is being executed. So here I try to log in again, and we will hit the breakpoint. So this is the login user method. So when a user clicks on the login button, this method is called, and here we have placed the debugger, so it is stopped there. So how we can place the debugger? Let's go into the code and show it to you there. So this is our code. It We are building in an Angular application, and this is the TypeScript file of the component. So let's find the login function here. It will be, so this is login function. So whenever you want to stop a code in the developer tools, you write this keyword, the keyword debugger. So and when you run the code, and the code will stop at that point where the debugger is placed. So let's go into the browser again. So here it is stopped because we have placed the debugger there. So let's try to debug this. So here some variables are being initialized, and then certain logic is being executed. So here you can see that an API was called, and then response from that location from IP from this API was received, and then in these lines some initialization is happening. So in this line a backend service is called, the login user registration service and login user. So after that, after this service will return, so the from the backend error is returned. Obviously the password was not correct, so the error has to be returned. So here is the logic placed that if the data contains is lockout enabled variable. So then here the function for the show logged model is called. So the logged model should be displayed, but because the the control should come into this if block, but it is going into the else block. Yeah. So it is clear from there that the this condition is not fulfilled, and we are seeing from the debugging that this variable is lockout enabled is not returned. So what is returned in the data? Let's see that. So here we see that actually the lockout enabled is true, but there is some spelling mistake. So from the backend, the only the lockout enabled variable is being sent, but here we are checking is lockout enabled. So this is a blunder in our application logic. So let's see from there where the data is coming. For that we will switch back to the backend API code. So let's quickly find out which API is being called by this login uh, method. So let's open our front end code. So here this is the method login user method of registration service. So we go into the definition of this code by pressing the F12 key. So here is the login user method, and it is calling this URL, this login URL. So we view the definition of this login URL variable. So here it is defined, the login URL. So from there we can assert that it is calling the authenticate method of the user controller. So let's go to there. So it is my Visual Studio open, and the user controller is also open. So let's go to the authenticate method. From there, this is the authenticate method. So here it is. So let's place a breakpoint there. And then once we call that method again. So I have clicked there, and the control is stopped there. So I debug it one by one by using the step over button. Its shortcut key is F10. So I again press F10. So I log in again. I have placed a breakpoint at line number 47 as well as line number 37. So now we debug it again. So here the response is being sent, and the message is sent from there: your account is logged for some time because of too many unsuccessful attempts. So here the lockout enabled, it should be is lockout enabled, so we change it there as is. So here are our changes, and then we continue our code. and now this model is being displayed. So most of the time the problem that occurs in our code uh, is caused by a small misunderstanding. So I hope that you have learned something from this video, and you understand how we can find problems in our code. So if you have any question, or you if you want to learn more about the Google Chrome's developer tools and debugging tools, or if you want to learn more about the Visual Studio debugging tools, please let me know in the comments and I will answer your questions, or I can make another video explaining about the topics suggested in the comments. So that's it from me. Thank you guys for watching this video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks and bye bye.